Okay everybody, so I'm trying a new skin regime. I'm not playing with filters. I don't need to. I am better looking than 90% of the people on YouTube, okay? So, let's breathe it in, losers.
What the heck are you doing?
Sharing my au natural self with the VIBs. I am a natural beauty though, right? Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Marc's around. Say hi Marc.
Hey everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Marc. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. I'm actually having some coffee. Good vibes only. I don't remember, Javalia K-Cups, because we used our Keurig that we got.
Yes, Javalia, new Keurig too.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, and of course Foodie Beauty again. Now, what else can you say about someone who uses filters, takes advantage of people, talks about herself? Well, some of us do it some of the time, and some of us do it all of the time. So today we're going to reflect back on what's been going on this week. My personal assessment is that Chantal cares about absolutely no one than herself. That's not news, but there's usually not so much direct evidence of it either. So, hope you're all well, hope you're all safe. Forgot that in the beginning. So, last week we were just playing catch up because I wasn't here for 2 weeks. So, we talked about the attempted blackout to try to drive people or this or that away from her channel, her glow up arc, which I don't think will ever happen because nothing about Chantal glows, her men, her manly men, her fake men, the 6 who she can do for free, but she just happens to like the one she pays better. Okay. That's why they don't go on more than one date. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Blaming her bad choices on anyone within earshot. Chantal, again, is not responsible for her behavior. She is only responding to impulse and other people's actions. So she has zero accountability from her description of it. And let's see. You know how she gets, guys, so don't make her mad. The VIBs are as limp as ever and impotent as ever. They'd drive you to hell if you ask nicely. So I don't want to talk too much about them, but we will. So going forward into this week, we're still chasing Natter. We're telling everyone we're not. We're sleeping with a soccer team, but we're not with Natter. Any other thing is fine. She is he's still in the picture, so we'll talk about that for a second. Continued belligerence over reactors. I'm thinking like Alex is shook, Yabba is one of the usuals. And I have some thoughts on that too. And sidebar, the cat, BBJ, is becoming inconvenient to travel plans. So he will be put down. That poor cat's never going to go to the vet. Next time will be its last time at the vet, and it'll be put down. Her delusions of being a sex kitten. Okay. And then stuff that was going on with Shannon. That just came up over the last few days. So we'll start at the beginning. A very good place to start, and then we'll keep moving. Okay, so chasing Natter. This is not new to this week, but it's taking different forms now that Chantal, she went on her rants about how Dede and Natter were just jealous of her, and she never said a good reason why, but that they have it out for her. They're doing everything they can to make it look like they're happy just to upset her, because that's not selfish or anything. Sometimes people don't do things to us, they just do things. You know, not everything is deliberate, and who the fuck thinks they're so important that everyone's moves and actions around them is entirely about them? Okay. The drive to Montreal. So there was question about whether or not she had somebody, Natter or otherwise with a low voice and Egyptian accent, saying, hurry up. She was doing a drive to Montreal. Why? I don't know. And of course, it's very on character for Natter to say something rather than thank you. He would say, hurry up. So that part I find believable. She lies. Whatever the opposite of what the truth is. Whatever she says is true, you can guarantee half of that's a lie. Elaborated details, one extra guy in the bed, all that kind of stuff. Chantal initially lied about why she was going, and then all of a sudden it's 10 a.m. and she has an orange julep, and she usually drives 2 hours for her morning afternoon julep. But who does she know who lives around there that she would have just been hanging out? It's weird. It's a weird thing. I wonder if Natter and Dede were hanging out in Vancouver, if she'd make the drive to prove her loyalty. That Kia's not going to last. That'd be lucky to get but Saskatchewan. So, it's on character for him, yeah, to be bitching about her. The orange julep just happened to be in the morning. I don't buy that. With yesterday's makeup on, you don't think much of the VIBs until you need a hug box. So you don't need to look good for them. That's your raw, authentic self. But when people have opinions about her idea about independence is very different. Most people, independence is, adulthood, freedoms, freedom to spend my money this way, to do this, to do that. What do you say to someone who goes broke every month when they make 20 grand? I'm sure Dede makes less than that because she has a real job. And I don't think she can start fake OnlyFans or send out postcards from her bathroom and act like they're, something people should be desiring. She also didn't charge a flat fee and then send none either. But that's different. So Dede, I don't know that Dede's more likable. I said she's with Natter at the moment. She seems to be accepting of what's going on, despite the documentation that she was not tuned up, but hands were laid where they normally wouldn't be by someone who cares about you. So she's like, Chantal would still take her place in a heartbeat. She'd be the one. If you're gonna hit anyone, hit me. Raise standards. Raise standards, please. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it. Oopsies. Oopsies. So, the hug box to get ass pats from people after something like that goes on. And too afraid of losing your friendship. The VIBs think they're friends. They think they're close. So if they have any opinions about Natter, they're already gone. Currently, real time, the comment section is down. Again, probably backed over from some of the Shannon drama, because that was the most recent. But no comments available at this time, so if y'all are looking for somewhere to share thoughts, there's a lot of reactors out there. Some of them are good, some of them are okay. So, they probably just don't want to be doxxed. There's VIBs that think that she's a friend to them, which she's not. She said Frenzies, which means I play friends with you, and you treat me like a real friend. So, because she gives money away all the time, too, just for whatever reason. She's happy to take yours as well. And if that looks like this, if your loyalty is waning, like you say, Natter's not such a nice guy, even if she had 2 black eyes, she would block the person and get him out of there because it's her choice, it's her body, and it's what she wants to do. Go ahead. Go ahead. But you have to understand how peculiar it looks. Most people don't conduct themselves like Natter, Dede, or Chantal in day-to-day life. Are we getting a little extra because they're behind closed doors and there's that voyeuristic YouTube piece of look at how these people live? And sometimes it's nicer than where I live and sometimes it's not. So, the other reason I don't think she gets along too well with the VIBs is because they're manipulated. The example I can think of is that there was a blackout, and it was like at noon, and she went online quick to hustle money on PayPal. PayPal is if you need money fast. You need money and you need it now. Taking advantage of viewers who do that. Like, I think she thinks highly of herself because she pays for stuff for other people. I think they think they're more in her good graces if they give more money. So they join all the clubs and all of that stuff. And all of their money gets pulled in by Chantal. Usually it would be taxed, but and that's... So Natter will stay involved. Natter will stay mixed in to all of this in some form or another. And she's never going to fully admit to it. None of the truth will come out from anybody, whether there's court battles with Natter, there was her dropping the charges, her pressing the charges, her wanting to be able to press charges at will, but hang out with him at will also. And if he reports her coming over to the police, it looks bad on him because he's on probation. Now, having said that, Natter doesn't need too much help looking bad. And it's no secret. You could talk to him for 5 minutes and realize he's the kind of guy who'd get into a tantrum and shove you. I'm sure he was real popular in jail for that. The skinny little guy, with the big dog. Good Sally sleeps on his belly. Okay, moving along. Her continued kind of unintelligent snits about creators. So, reaction channels aren't new. Been around for a while. There's been good ones that get a big following. There's ones that only pop up every once in a while. There's growth periods, like a joke, something Chantal said, and she was absolutely right. If you want to build a channel, make an Amberlynn Reid reaction channel. You can't live off Chantal's reactions. There's nothing else to say. Amberlynn has a lovely and complicated life of her own. So, I don't know. I mean, I never used to like Amberlynn Reid, but part of me is thinking, So the reactors that I like that she's coming after, the only ones I know of or people I've reacted to. Alex's Shook, his name came up. I saw a message where she had sent something regarding benzo addiction. So apparently she's read up about that soon. She's probably taking maybe she's not taking Pete's pills. I don't know. She's said as much before. She'll use his to get herself through. So how do you always need more meds when you get a prescription every month and only take it 10 days out of the month? That I can't figure out. But back to Alex. He's shared with his audience and bigger crowds. He's had some history with substance use disorders. He went through a period, I want to say it was 2 years ago. Like, he was doing well. Alex, happy-go-lucky and the sugar cookie voice. Or you think it sounds not so nice. I like the sound of his voice. I think it's good. It's soothing while high-pitched. That's a hard one to put together. But talking about his history of addiction and using names for that, saying benzo brain or whatever, he is the nicest reactor to Chantal. He is the kindest. He sticks to the script, and when he talks about what she's done, he says it all in detail. He doesn't laugh about too much of it, except for the super insane parts of it. But if she's going to come at him for a substance use disorder he has, which he's been in treatment for, and I imagine is still doing something to manage, that is what she doesn't understand, is like drug and recovery shaming. Bringing up somebody's past when they've decided to change their life and do something else is rotten. It means I feel better about myself if you stay down there. The fact that he would have a nicely growing channel, or some insights, or some thoughts, and because I'm a person who's in recovery, shut the fuck up about Alex. He's nicer to you than almost everybody. That's the kind of reaction channel that would bring people in, usually, to her. I mean, the more reactors there are, the more it brings Chantal attention, and the more attention she gets, the hotter she gets. So, at any rate. Reactors with children. Women with children. She has a hard-on for reactors who have kids. I think she thinks it's like a big flex to insult or to try to insult another woman's parenthood. Yaba, this happened like years ago when it started. I can't believe you're a mother. Is that the kind of role model you are for your kids? Chantal, how did you turn out the way you turned out? Was it Sunnybrook Farm? Like, where was it? Were you one of the Brady kids? Because from everything you've said your mother was promiscuous, that she'd bring men over, that you'd get attention by dancing at the top of the stairs, shaking your whatever. And that dance she still uses today. When she runs out of things to say, she'll dance, for attention. There's nothing kitschy about a fat woman dancing. It's not interesting. But she, hey, I guess the VIBs like it. Whatever keeps the money coming, she'll do. So drama keeps the money coming. VIBs will disappear and then come back occasionally. Marc will be with us later today, and he'll mention as much about her numbers being down. Subs being down by a few hundred, views being down by, 20%? Something like that. So she's dancing real fast. And with the comments off now, she has more time to think about herself. That's a radical change in priorities, isn't it? Going after other women because of parenting is lousy. Her motive in that, she knows it's a sensitive issue. Chantal's not afraid of going low. Making fun of and shaming another creator who has problems with addiction, other people who have parents. Here's the thing. When they turn off their cameras, they have a life after that. You don't seriously think everyone sits around and watches you all day, every day. Now, the channels that, like, every time she farts, they make a video about it, you know, it's not that interesting. Some stuff about her just isn't that new. The surprising part, though, is that even though some things might not be new, they're still happening. We're still getting the stories, the fantasy stories of the lovers, all of that. So, she has insults about other people, which, it's her prerogative. Whatever. But her male prospects, her type, really, need money. They are a profile. You can profile the kind of men because they're all very similar. New to the country, don't speak much of the language, broke with no transportation. So she stacks the deck in her favor and pays for everything. I'll drive to you. I'll pay for the food. I'll pay for us to hang out. And she had stopped short previously of saying she had paid for sex, particularly with Nader. A number he threw out was like $2,000 a month to have sex on demand with him or something like that. That's still cheap for Nader. I mean, Nader's no prize. He's kind of like a, you know, scarecrow in, you know, himself. But at any rate, the last thing I want to say about that is that she profiles men, like I just said, to come in a position of power with resources because then they become dependent on her. And she takes advantage of people who are new in the country because they might have problems with language proficiency or proficiency. Hear me? Do you hear me? Problems with the law. Maybe they're new. They need some place to stay. And she takes advantage of that. That is not generous. That is not sharing the wealth. That is, I want something from you, and I think I can offer you enough shit to get it, even if you don't really want to do it. So the idea that she was going to have a dude over, couple dudes. She's seeing 6 people to have sex she doesn't pay for. But the only one we may ever see, she's kind of paying him a little bit. Now, the scam she has to attract vulnerable men is OnlyFans. And her spin, I'm guessing to them, is I'm a YouTube creator. Here's some pictures of me. The lies begin immediately. Here's some pictures of me. I'm looking for someone to star on my OnlyFans channel with me, another man. Now, for all the men she knows, just one was sort of interested in doing it. But it's taking advantage. If the genders were reversed, this would be lunacy, absolute lunacy, and wouldn't be seen in the same way. You know, if a man was seeking out vulnerable women who are new in the country, don't speak English, that's how, like, human trafficking usually goes. I'm not from around here. The offer of money to get a person on camera, which can then be used to blackmail them, because there's footage now. What if dude goes over, she films it, and he's like, I changed my mind, I don't want you to post it. Do you think it'll stop her? She'll post it anyway. To whatever consequence it creates for another person is not her problem. So, her coming at reactors, her coming at other people, her deciding the men that she's seeing that she deserves. If you sleep with homeless men, you've paid for sex. Because I think even the homeless hold some standard. I mean, who sleeps with someone who just walks down the street and runs into them? It's not safe. I have freedom. I can do what I want as a woman. I'm this. Of course you can. But there's a difference between being attractive and available. We learned this from Blanche about her niece Lucy. Just because a lot of people sleep with you doesn't mean you're pretty. And in fact, it's meaning that you pay for it. So I don't know why you don't think you're pretty. Most people, I don't think, would have to pay a few $100s to sleep with someone. Usually men are pigs, too. You know, easy sex is enough. But none of them come back after one try. One visit with her, they don't come back. Because it doesn't look like her who shows up at the door. You know, the super highlighted, super puckered, the looks. She looks like a 200-pound woman who is 20 years younger. And then Chantal shows up at the door with her ripped up wig cap and the clothes she wore 2 days ago covered in cat hair, smelling, according to Pete's, like vinegar, and comes over for a casual encounter. And then wonders why no one wants to see her again. I know how the casual encounters work. I had a rather active social life at the end of college. Casual encounters are not, you know, they're just a one-off thing. I think she thinks everyone who sleeps with her wants to marry her. She's had too much time with Nader. If she ever knew what a healthy relationship was, even a little bit, because she kept BB around till she cheated, just like she had Pete's around till she cheated. Hey, we talk about karma sometimes, not so much. I know karma's supposed to be for the next life, but if she talks about it in this one, you reap what you sow. To be man crazy about someone who doesn't like you, to throw all your money away in an attempt to cover the fact that you have some shortcomings. You know, she has a lot to say about other people in terms of their looks, too. She talks about Roy Orbison looking when she talks about DC Media Girl. Chantal has the profile of Louis Anderson meets Octomom. So when she shoots herself from the front, I mean, that's fake. That's not like dim lighting or sunglasses with a few wrinkles under your eyes. That's creating a cartoon character loosely based on what she looks like. Sells that to people and seems confused that they're not bowled over by her personality. Look, I used to fatfish. It's what it is. I used my high school yearbook photos while I was 22. You know how much hair fell out between there and then too? But I'd send a nice photo and I'd go over, and usually the guy was like, well, you came all the way here. So we would have a good time, a quick time, a passing ships in the night, safely, and not too often, because I didn't sleep around much even in my 20s, even though I was, primed for it. It just really wasn't my thing. I certainly didn't pay anybody to sleep with me. And if someone offered to, if a man, Chantal's height and weight, showed up at my door and said, hey, I'll pay you for this, I'll pay you for that, get the fuck off my porch. Get out. Go away. We're only tolerating you because you're paying. I think that was the gist of high school for her, too. You offered to drive and you offered to pay. So you can hang out with us. But once we get there, don't act like you know us or talk to us. It's kind of a mean girls thing, but she's pushing 40 and she's still a mean girl. Okay, so let's have a little sidebar for a second. BBJ, the kitty. You know I love. Where's my kitty? He hates me. He likes Marc better. They're doing good since we moved in, by the way. Oscar's not living in the closet, really, anymore. So that's on the up and up, I would have to say. Her cat, BBJ, is older. Chantal always has gotten crap from the audience because if she was taking him to the vet, she wasn't mentioning it. And it was a troll to her to have people be mad that they thought she was just going to let her cat die or get sick. And that seemed a little harsh because I thought, well, at least the animals like her, you know? But in discussion, while talking about her future beezing, whether it's international or whatever, she was talking about what could be done with her pets. Pets. Because she wouldn't be home to do it. Now, she said she'd have Pete's do it, because he's going to stay in the villa himself while she's out around the world. She'd probably get him evicted from, like, Europe, so when she came back, he'd be gone. BBJ, she's going to keep around, and if she needs to go travel bees or not be home when she's going to see the world, but mail postcards from down the street. And the cat would die, essentially. She said if she thought that she wasn't going to be around, then it would be more of a discussion about putting BBJ down. You're putting your cat down in case you go on vacation? Really? Loyalty means nothing to her. Apparently, knowing her 20 years, whether you're a girl or a cat, means nothing. Nothing. If you're not doing anything for me today, means nothing. So it's very insincere how she was describing, oh, I've had her for 20 years, BBJ. It's like, you said you were going to, next time that cat goes to the vet is the last time it's going to go to the vet. I think she's just going to wait around, not take care of the vet care, and then by the time he does go, they'll say it's the compassionate thing to put him down. I don't think rehoming a cat that old is helpful unless they're in an abusive situation. If you can't afford the vet, you can't afford the pet. That's what it is. That doesn't mean only rich people have pets, but you have to prioritize money for veterinary care if you want the responsibility of being a good pet owner. What would you say to a parent who didn't take their kid to a pediatrician? The kid's vulnerable, the cat's vulnerable. Neither can make decisions for themselves. So it's dependent upon responsible parties to make responsible decisions in their best interest because they are vulnerable and aren't able to make them on their own. So taking advantage of the fact that the cat doesn't talk, I think she thinks it's probably just as well to put him down. It's one less thing. And she might have met a new guy who doesn't like cats. And so she's going to pretend she doesn't have any. Like when she was sleeping in the living room trying to get Natter to feel like she wasn't sleeping with Pete's. All of these people need to raise their standards. All of them. None of them would be sought by a healthy person with an actual life. Dede is the closest thing to that, and even she can't help but play some reindeer games at this point. So, whatever. Okay, so let's go forward on our delusional sex kitten vixen. All the men want me. All the men can't have me. You were ready to switch to girls because men were were so off her at the time. This idea that she is like, men are drawn to her by maybe a pretty picture that doesn't look like her. Maybe the thought of money. I mean, if I was going to go on a date with somebody and the first thing they did was offer me money for my time, first of all, I don't respect you because you don't respect me. You think I'm going to bend over for $500 just because you would, and just because you only keep the company of men who will as well. That doesn't mean it's normal. If you say your usual, what, nobody pays for sex? No! A lot of people don't. They have it with people they like, or people they have arrangements with, or people they're comfortable with. 6 one-night stands is not honest. It's not comfortable with other people. If it did happen, I'm sure it was wildly embarrassing and followed by a trip to Burger King. Each time. And she can't understand, again, why, what? When you show up and you don't look like you, and you look thinner, I told you I fat-fished, I know your game. You think you can sell it with your face and your personality. You better dance really fast. When you agree to meet up only for sex and then you try to start a relationship, you're asking for your own problems. You're trying to force something that isn't there. And at that point, I would probably let it go. Well, some people would if you were paying me. I'd put up with more if you were paying me than not, I guess. But people with principles, like for example, probably wouldn't do that kind of thing. Maybe she gets off on paying. She said as much. That kind of is a thing of hers. She likes being mommy warbucks and buying the men's and their presents and paying their fines and sending them to jail if they cross her. You know what happened? It'll be their, what happened to her last boyfriend. She put him in jail because she was butthurt because he was talking to somebody else. Not because. She said it was for all these reasons, and she listed the reasons that are not funny. Domestic violence, sodomy, other stuff. She dropped the charges, but was still insisting to us, or she said she was, only insisting to us that all of it happened. When it came down to what are the facts, and we saw an email she had sent, I believe, to the police who interviewed her, what she essentially said was, yes, I'm being abused, but I love him, and I don't want to do anything about it. You know what? Don't call the cops again. Don't go to them again. Don't bother. Don't waste doctors' times with, ridiculous trips to the ER. None of it. They're all diversions anyway, but nevertheless. 90% better looking than 90% of us. Okay, I think Natter is prettier than Chantal, okay? If that gives you a kind of assessment. And it's not because Chantal is heavy or doesn't do nice makeup, though you've never seen it if you have the filter on. She's dishonest. She lies. And when she changes her mind. The other part of that she leaves out is that I already meant to do what I'm going to tell you later I changed my mind to do. So I'm getting to Montreal and I'm going to go see Natter. Well, isn't that nice for you? She expects a certain level of respect from people she doesn't respect either. I can't. Between wanting to take out your cat for convenience and then thinking all the men's are after you for anything other than money. And if you don't think it's about money, don't bring up money or your transportation at all and see where the conversation goes. If I was new in a country and I was broke and scared and didn't speak the language and some guy extended his arm to me and said, I'll show you the way, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that, they don't realize at the time that they're building up IOUs to Chantal. The rent being paid isn't really a gift. It's more like an I own you. It's like peeing on his leg. That phone that I paid for. I saw a meme one time that was like, I never want to be with a man who could say to me that he got something for me or paid for me. That's a kind of meme about self-empowerment. I can take care of my own way. So much, and I think that's a good thing, but I don't think when you take Chantal and Natter and Pete's and Dede and all these people together, nobody comes out looking good. I think Chantal looks the worst. Pete's looks the most pitiful. Natter's the most unlikable. He'll compete with Chantal probably, but unlikable. I saw a post. I'm repeating this. I did not come up with this. That said one of the only reasons anyone's jealous of Natter is because he got to smack Chantal. That's low. That's a low blow. I think the comment I saw was deleted. It was on something on Twitter that was going by. And I thought, wow. You know, and I've said some kind of not so nice things. You know, like, why fuck the cow when you can get the milk for free? And that's taking a cheap dig at her weight. But you're going to take digs at everybody else for their looks? I'm sorry, fair's fair. You can't get righteously upset. No, you're shaming me for being a liar. Liars should be shamed. What, you've never told a lie? Not an hour ago. And just get caught in it? No. And apologizing for getting caught in a lie doesn't mean you didn't lie. Okay, so we're going to talk about Shannon. I'm going to talk about Shannon, Chantal's ex-friend on friend of 20-some years, briefly. She's going through some medical concerns at the moment. I suspect she wanted some privacy to it because she wouldn't put it up on her own channel that she was there. But she was having some mental health concerns. And she had reached out to Chantal for reasons unclear that... she was in the hospital and she wasn't doing well. And Chantal had some words to say about that after the fact. Shannon was upset, I think rightfully, that what she told Chantal ended up in Chantal's chat. That Shannon was doing this and going through this and whatever. And Shannon felt like that was a betrayal. Chantal felt like it was fine because when she was getting punched by Natter, her friend intervened to try to help her and get some information to her. She feels like that's the same as telling someone who's in and out on wanting to live at the moment that you're too busy to deal with their problems because you're too busy with your own. What the fuck kind of friend does that? I don't even it's an acquaintance, you know? Someone's obviously in a vulnerable mental state. Enough that they sought help at the hospital. They didn't sign in and talk to their fucking chat, okay? They went and got some actual help. And that's a good thing. And she shouldn't be shamed for getting help. She's getting the kind of help that Chantal would be an incredible candidate for. Inpatient psychiatric care. For how long? I don't know. Till the shocks start. I don't know. I have no idea. I'd be out of my depth. I work in mental health and outside of a clinical psychiatrist, psychologist, anything of that education level, or, the MD, the psychiatrist, would need to be available to assess. I can only tell you how it looks like she's acting. I can't tell you why, necessarily. I don't know. Again, why would she expose a friend of 20 years and make that information available to other people? If it's private, it's supposed to be private. So Chantal gets all butthurt because Shannon, respecting herself, said that was not meant to be shared information, so please don't do that. Chantal fires back, of course, because that's what she does, and fires back in a way that lets Shannon know, look, you've done me dirtier than this, so screw you if you're upset. Who needs enemas when you have friends like that? Or with friends like that, who needs enemas? Enemies! Sorry. At any rate. So Shannon's upset with her, and Shannon's getting medical treatment at the moment. Now, French Fry Girl from out of not too far in left field was in communication with Shannon and actually put a photograph up of the two of them. Now, I don't really know French Fry Girl like that. I have mixed feelings about someone who inserts themselves into a situation like that. Just curious of their motives, pretty much. Like, if their motive is just to fuck with Chantal and make her look bad, or if it's to try to have some accountability so that we say we don't want to be in an internet community that has people like this in it. It's unsavory, it's cruel, it's selfish. We do have free speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Everything has its own caveats. So, to be fair, only all of these people know their real motives. Shannon, Chantal, and the other 6 men she has, and the 10 women and a few men that Natter has. She doesn't want the burden of friendship with Shannon or with anybody else. The burden of friendship is honesty, being there for people, not keeping secrets if they're being hurt. Like, Chantal stayed home and talked to her chat for 10 months about abuse and about not feeling well and her mental health and feeling crazy. That's why Chantal can't be anywhere for anyone else. Because she doesn't have her own shit together, she doesn't have any to share with anyone else. So, being sympathetic to Shannon's position was not something that she was going to be. It was going to be ammo. You can't gaslight me. You can't tell me this. I don't fall for it. You pay men from another country to sleep with you. You'll fall for a lot. You'll fall for a whole fucking lot. People do have the issues she has and get well and then make a real life for themselves. Not this, like, fantasy, you know. I'm talking to you guys now. I'm looking at my phone. It's on the coffee table, okay? And we do this like 5 times a week. We make a video. But they're not 6-7 hours a day. Whatever. So I've said pretty much most of what I had to say. I kept it light on the Shannon part tonight deliberately because I didn't want to draw too much attention to a situation Shannon didn't really want attention drawn to. And as a mental health consumer, I know it takes like a hard time to even reach out to someone, a friend, to have them reply and say, I'm really busy with me. I don't have time. Sorry. Bless her heart. Marc!
Yeah.
Could you come in here for a minute, please?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. We do, yeah,
We
you
do
gotta
need some
move.
space.
I forgot all about that. Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, how are you? Oh my goodness. So happy to be here. Good timing, huh? I just got in too. I was out running some errands. Well, shopping is more like it. But anyway, how's everybody doing? I have some really interesting stuff to talk to you about because this is what everybody's talking about over on Twitter. All right, so first and foremost, the most popular of all the posts is the situation with Shannon, and Stephen already had talked about it, so I'm not going to bring that up again. But how vile, huh? I mean, her response, I'm glad she's not my best friend, let me tell you that. Just saying. Or former best friend, we'll just say. So anyway, okay, so on the top of the list here, y'all, Chantal is losing subs. Yes, she is. And this has been a trend for, well, quite some time now. A few weeks ago, she was down about 400, down about 300, and most recently, she's down about 200 subs. And most of the comments and the threads within the comments are about, well, that's good. Let's hope it continues. But, you know, with a channel that has over 90,000 subscribers, you know, taking a hit of 100, 200, even 1,000 or two really doesn't even show up on her radar. Or so she thinks. If this trend continues, maybe it will open up her eyes, right? So, we'll see what happens there. All right, so next up, oh yes, the campaign to take down her channel. Yes, this is still a really hot topic over on YouTube. People are fed up with the sexual exploitation, the nudity, the bullying, the vile talk, oh my gosh, the doxing, the paying for sex, like all of that. I mean, I also am very surprised that her channel is still up, given the content that she has been putting out lately. I just don't get it. I have a quote here. Let's see here. One of the quotes here, and I won't read it verbatim because it does involve the Shannon situation, but that seems to be the hottest topic within this topic, if you know what I mean. Chantal's response to Shannon reaching out for help and all of the crap she said afterwards. That, in addition to all of the other breaches of terms of service, people are fed up and they are writing to YouTube left and right. Check out all of these posts. And let me tell you, this is just a drop in the bucket. So I say this is a good thing. Like, I'm not one to say I'm not really vindictive or mean. Like, I mean, Normally, I would not say I want her channel to be taken down, but honestly, at this point where she's at, I think it's the only thing that is going to, like, wake her up, open her eyes, and hopefully see herself, right? I mean, how long can this go on? I don't really know. So, with all of this going on, I do have a feeling maybe her days are numbered on YouTube. I mean, one can hope anyway. I hope it does. I hope it happens. I hope it opens up her eyes because, in all seriousness, it may just save her life. Just saying. Chantal the Predator! Oh my gosh, a couple years ago, I don't even know if that would have even come out of my mouth, right? So, yes, Chantal the Predator. What's up with that? So, recently she has admitted, and why she would admit this, like, just so publicly like this, that one, she pays for sex, and two, she actually seeks out younger male, we'll just say younger male people who are recently migrated to the country that struggle with English, struggle with their finances, that are, well, kind of broke and trying to find their way. And she offers them money for sex, and she also offers them a position on her OnlyFans page, and she justifies it by saying, well, you know, it's a way to help them out.
Like, you said you were gonna help me and all this shit, so I was like, well, I was like, and do you want to have sex with you and everything? Anyway, so then we like made an arrangement where we might, like, we were maybe gonna work together and do like videos together, like, you know what I mean? Because maybe we could make a lot of money, like, because he has a really, like, nice, you know, I think that he could make decent money on that. And he needs money, you know? So, and I needed partners for OnlyFans. And I was thinking if ways of, like, I could help him out, because I don't want to just give him money, you know? I don't know. Maybe I made it sound like, you know, like it would help him out, but
I just don't know. This goes back to what I was saying probably for a year now in all my little segments here. Why would you want to portray yourself like this so publicly? I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. And everybody is talking about it on Twitter. And again, this goes back to getting Chantal's channel removed from Twitter too. They are sending this latest little talk that she's talking about, you know, Chantal the Predator. They're sending all of that to YouTube. And I'm sorry, Chantal. Law enforcement too. So we'll see what happens with that. And finally, my favorite post of the week. This was posted by Athena2002. I just love it. And she said, tell me who Chantal is without telling me who she is. Love it, Athena. Just love it. And that is what people are talking about over on Twitter this week. What'd you think? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good?
I think you did good.
All right, thanks. Do you
right.
want to take over and say goodbye? Do you have
Yeah.
anything else to say? You know
yeah.
Chantal found God, by the way.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, guys, and talking a little bit on Twitter about this, she's no longer interested in spooky stuff.
She was dating her first.
That must be it.
Must be. When she was dating a Muslim, she stopped eating pork.
Well, she claims, this is her exact words, you know, I don't know. Maybe that now I believe in God more. I just don't like spooky stuff as much. I swear to gosh. She swears to gosh, y'all.
Oh, God.
I just don't care about Ghost as much as I did. Does anybody care? All right, see you guys.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
And we are back. So where does this leave us? Well, thank you for watching so far. I agreed with a lot of the points Mark brought up in this. You know, his is more time sensitive, more recent, and the present is as disappointing as the past when it surrounds Chantal. I forgot that she found God. Swear, I don't mean to joke. I think she's probably trying to put her moves onto a guy who's identifying as Christian, because why else would she stop swearing and stop watching scary movies? She thinks that's impressive to somebody, otherwise she wouldn't do it. So, I don't know. going forward into the next week, the dependable thing is the lot of lives. No matter what's going on in her life, who she's sick of, who she's doxing, who she's sleeping with, she can't stop talking to the camera. So we'll get all the lives, and I think we'll get all that stuff. There's, I think, going to be some more reactor retaliation, just thoughts, because of the unflattering things that have been said. They all landed on Chantal, to the point where her comments are now turned off, and you can't comment on anything. That's usually followed by a lot of community posts, where like, nah, one-way communication. I can say this to anybody, but you can't say it to me. Happy 15th birthday, Chantal. Whatever. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell to get alerts when we have new videos and go live. You can follow us on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Facebook, SmokeySteve_and_Marc. Send us a friend request. Email address and contact info is all listed below as well. Thanks again, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. We're going live at 6 p.m. for our usual Sunday live. It's a good time. It's very chill. Just come to lurk. I promise it'll be nice. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, Marc. Bye.